Christian, thanks for joining us from your garden here in Trondheim.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
So Christian, for those who don't know you, could you please give us a brief introduction to your experience in working with European projects?
Okay, I have had quite a number of projects in recent years. So it all started like 5-6 years ago when we applied for the first EU project with me as a coordinator, and we were lucky or good to be awarded the grant, and then we worked in that project, and from then it just has developed. So once you're in the system and you know how things work there are more contacts and more projects that you get, and what binds them all together is that these projects have to do with energy decisions or climate decisions, behavior that people have, and that changing lifestyles is like one of the things that almost all of the projects deal with.
Okay, but to sum up, if I'm correct, you have coordinated so far, or in the process of coordinating 3 projects.
Yeah.
And also being partner and work package leader in several more. So this is a quite remarkable track record. What do you think are the key factors behind this achievement?
I try to say one thing is, don't believe in rumors that it's impossible.
Okay.
That has always been my approach, that, well, if you're good, you can try and you can succeed. But then there is, of course, this success, getting experience, getting to know good partners all over Europe makes better chances for getting more projects and other projects. So I think for the first one, quite a decisive reason was that we teamed up with an organization that where many different partners, science partners, but also user partners from all over Europe were organized. So we had a network before we started writing the proposal. And then afterwards, we have been picking partners quite strategically and depending on their experience and what they can give to the project.
Yeah, that's interesting. You're a professor at the Department of Psychology at NTNU. Still, your engagement in Horizon 2020 has largely been within societal challenge 3, secure, clean and efficient energy. Now, intuitively, one might think that this field, the field of energy, is not really associated with psychology or even social sciences and humanities at all. How do you comment on that type of perception?
That is, in fact, a question that I get from time to time. Why are you, as a psychologist, interested in such topics? But then again, you see that a lot of the policy on the European and national level has changed from technology development in the energy sector to understanding how people's behavior is caused, how people use energy, and how lifestyles of people shape energy use. And to answer such questions, it's of course behavior science that is relevant. And also humanities are interesting when you look at such like more cultural aspects of how energy behavior is shaped. So the projects that we have are often either completely within social science and humanities, or projects where we have both technology parts and the social science parts that look at, for example, if a technology is developed, how can you, or how do people use that technology? How does it change their everyday life? And also, what do they sometimes do with the technology that the engineers didn't expect?
So this all sounds, I must say, very positive for the audience of this event. Would you think that these comments that you made now for the field of energy also applies to other fields that are more related traditionally to technology and engineering?
Absolutely. So in my group, I see that we have more requests for participation in EU projects than we can handle, because it's often now written into the calls that you must have this societal perspective in your project. So there's a lot of room for social science and also humanities in the interdisciplinary projects of Horizon Europe.
Christian, what is your experience in working with non-academic partners?
Non-academic partners are interesting to work with, sometimes challenging to work with. So I think the key is that they really need to have a stake in the project and that they really need to have a role. So sometimes you build project consortia where you add a user partner, and they're not really interested in the project, and that doesn't really work. So we now have a project at the moment running where the user partners do not get a lot of money, but they get something that is important for their business and for their, well, sometimes it's municipalities, sometimes it's energy companies, and they are interested in getting the results and in trying some things, and that works really well. So if they have an active role and if they know why they're in the project, then it's really rewarding working with them, and you must absolutely not underestimate them as an academic partner. And on the other hand, you need to be aware that you need to explain your science in a different way. Because an energy company, they are not used to use scientific models, for example. They want to have other types of answers. And working into that and really planning for that in a project is a good idea. And on the other hand, makes them very exciting again.
In the framework program, and in particular in the pillar 2 and 3, there are clear societal objectives. For example, in the field of energy, public health, and in the green transition. Some researchers are skeptical that the societal and political objectives become too important in setting the research agenda. Have you, as a principal investigator, ever experienced that your research has been sort of impeded and your autonomy has been impeded by collaborating in these type of projects?
Not in these type of projects. It's different when you do like research for a company. But in these projects, there is no influence on what you do in the research project. There is, of course, the influence how the calls are written and what kind of answers they want to have. But what the answers are, that's up to us in the projects. And I have to say, I agree to quite a large degree with the European Commission that we need to come closer from generating even more scientific knowledge to make it actually usable in European society. So I'm quite excited to see how Horizon Europe plays out.
So Christian, I know that you and your group has had some really good news lately from the European Commission. Could you please tell us a little bit about where you're going from here?
Yes, just the other day we heard that one of the projects where we're part in the proposals gets funding, and it gets funding with a really, really good evaluation result in a very hard competition. So we will continue to work on energy transition questions for the next couple of years.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having us here in your garden.
Yeah, you're very welcome.